Are you ready for change?
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
You're listening to Mr. Change Agent Podcast with your host, Ron Ovitt, minister, pastoral counselor, teacher, recovery coach, author, creator of Emotional Relearning. Today, we're going to be continuing in our series of podcasts talking about mental health and things that we can do to have a better outlook on life and better results. And we've been talking about some serious things lately. And today, Ron, I understand you want to talk about denial. And that's something I think a lot of us are involved with at one time or another. So
No, I don't think I am.
Oh, you don't? He's knee-deep in denial, right? All right. Well, take it away, Ron. Tell us about something about denial here.
Well, I tell you, I never cease to amaze me. Denial is such a serious issue. I work a lot in addictions.
No, hold it, Ron. Let's get the joke out of the way. Go ahead.
Oh.
You've been waiting to say this all day.
All right. In the addiction field, there's always that saying, denial is not a river in Egypt.
Boom, boom. Okay, there. We got that out of the way. Everyone knew it
I
was
was waiting
coming.
I was waiting to
I can
bring
hear
it in
millions
there.
of moans right now.
Yeah,
okay.
I was ready to put it in there.
Yeah,
man.
well, now it's over with, so let's
All right.
continue.
All right. Well, and one of the saddest things is that when you're trying to help someone and you know they're addicted to crack, or they're addicted to alcohol, seems to be even more prevalent because I can control that, I'm okay, and it just keeps deteriorating, and it's just it gets really hard. And what mystifies me the most is if you finally do an intervention, you talk someone into going into treatment, then 3 years later, maybe 2 years later, they slip, right? Maybe have a relapse. And so you talk to them, all of a sudden you got to do it all over again. Oh, I've been there, I did treatment, I don't need it, and on and on and on it goes. Now, according to Mayo Clinic, denial is a coping mechanism that gives you time to adjust to distressing situations. Well, that makes some sense. I mean, something, your wife just walked in and says she's going to leave you. I'd be in denial, right? I mean, that's whoa, this can't be happening, right? So you get some time to adjust. The tornado hit and you're sitting out there and you just can't believe it. You're in shock, right?
Well, in that case, it's just something, it's like the lamenting, just saying, I can't believe this.
Right.
So it's not like you're denying it totally.
Right.
You're in shock, saying, I can't believe this just happened.
Exactly.
So it gives you time to process.
Exactly. But staying in denial can interfere with treatment and ability to tackle challenges. And refusing to acknowledge that something is wrong is a way of coping with emotional conflict, stress, painful thoughts, threatening information, and anxiety. You can be in denial about anything that makes you feel vulnerable or threatens your sense of control, such as an illness. That happens all the time. I'm not really that sick. I don't need to see a doctor, right? Addiction, eating disorders, it's just one more cookie, Personal violence, financial problems, or relational conflicts. You can be in denial about something happening to you or someone else. And when you're in denial, you won't acknowledge a difficult situation. You'll try not to face the facts of a problem, or you'll downplay the possible consequences of the issue. But the truth is, denial is a crippling reality in many of our lives. And so denial is not having an accurate assessment of the situation and our role in it. And it happens in addictions, financial situations, a harsh reality that we're having to face. Now, like I said earlier, in the beginning, it's common, right? It's common to have denial. It's a time of adjustment, shock, numbness, overwhelmed, whatever. But we are talking about here now unhealthy denial. That's long after any adjustment time.
And you mentioned earlier that there could be two types. One, the denial that it's even happening, but maybe even more subtle is that, it's happening, but I had nothing to do with it.
That's right, exactly.
So what are some of the examples of unhealthy denial?
Well, how about a person that witnesses a violent crime but claims they're not affected by it, right? Mm-hmm. Or refusing to discuss health care directives and wills with your partner when they're older and desperately sick, insisting that they're going to get better,
There is something creepy about writing a will, though.
Oh, I hear you. Or periodically missing work after drinking excessively the night before, but insists there's no problem because the work is still getting done. We call that functional alcoholism, right? We think we're okay. Or in desperate financial trouble that you toss your bills aside because you can't bear to open them and not doing anything. I think we've been there. The parent of a teen with drug addiction that keeps giving their child spending money. that's it. Boy, it's so complex. And this certainly isn't a put down. These are hard issues, right? A person with chest pain, shortness of breath doesn't believe those symptoms signal a heart attack and delays getting help. In situations like those, denial might prevent us, or our loved ones from getting help, such as medical treatment or counseling or dealing with problems that can spiral out of control. And they can have potentially devastating long-term consequences.
Well, okay, so let's say you're in denial. What can we do about it?
Well, I guess you need to ask yourself, how will you know if you're in denial, right? If you're in denial. If you're in denial, you know it. But there'll be moments of sanity. I often tell that when I lead a class, there's talking in addictions. And actually, I got it from Terence Gorski. He is famous for relapse prevention. And he said there's a moment of sanity, and I've seen that over and over again. And we have those moments of sanity. We have those moments of ahas, and we need to latch onto them.
It's almost a moment of clarity.
Clarity, awareness. Right, exactly. In the worst, and it will happen. And when it comes, we need to honestly assess what's going on. Ask ourselves, what are we fearing? I mean, a lot of this denial is because of fear. What are other people going to say? What are they going to think about me? What am I going to do if I lose my job? What am I going to do? I don't want to be sick. I don't want to leave I can't face this. I want to stay with my family. I love them. I don't want to leave, right? So all these things. What if it's cancer? What if it's, And so there's fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of consequences. And so we pretend that it will magically go away, or maybe we just numb out. But we need to talk about it. And if that doesn't help, write about it, journal about it, write it down. Let someone help you think clearly about it. It's only a fear, not a reality. And a fear, we can overcome fears. Second thing we can do is consider the consequence of not doing something. They call that in addiction recovery, they call that playing the tape out, playing the video to the end, right? And, I think we need to play the rest of the news coverage, right? It's a disaster report. Play out the ending, see the devastation. But the good news is we can come and put a Hollywood ending on it if we want. What's the potential if we take proper action? I mean, the Hollywood scripts don't just end with a disaster, right? They write out a good ending. Well, why can't we? Yes, we've got the disaster going on. We got this horrible situation. But with faith and help and others and counsel, we can have a different ending. And we can go back to what we talked about in one of our other podcasts on hopelessness, despair. We can do things about that. And that might be a good one for someone to listen to. And then I think also get help. So not just honestly assess what's going on. Get some help. If you can't make progress dealing with a stressful situation on your own, you're stuck in a denial phase, well, then consider talking to a mental health provider or a pastor or a good friend or a sponsor, someone that can help you. Someone that, can help you find a healthy ways to cope with the situation rather than trying to pretend it doesn't exist. And you need to find that moment of sanity. See a counselor, get professional help. If you could have done this by yourself, you would have done it by now. So if you need to, go to a doctor. Go to treatment. It takes time to overcome some of these things, and it is hard. But you know what? You're in the situation, and it's not going to get better. These 21, 28-day treatment programs, most cases don't do it. That's just the beginning. For a person that's really, really stuck, sometimes, to change the brain away, it's at least 6 months to a year. And I can't help that. But you have to say, after that, I can rebuild. But you'll never, never, never rebuild if you don't make a change.
Yeah.
And this stuff is it needs to be faced. So